Hello everybody, this is Gareth Goons Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can donate to my ministry and the charities that I support at garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. Or otherwise you can look me up on my YouTube account and scroll down to the bottom where my created playlists are, so you can watch the videos that I watch on a daily basis. This one here is about Palestinian terror, not settler violence, threatens Israel's security in Judea and Samaria, says the Israeli Defense Forces veterans. Israel's security situation better than could be expected, argued retired general. With Israel approaching the 3-year mark in the campaign, sometimes dubbed the Seven Front War, security leadership and experts are increasingly divided over how to evaluate Israel's actions and the country's overall security outlook. Over the past few days, the viewpoint that the war has been a failure was stated in comments by an outgoing senior defense ministry official in in an open letter to the US President sent by the Commanders for Israel's Security, a left-leaning group comprised of hundreds of former senior security officials. However, Israel's Defense and Security Forum, the IDSF, a more hawkish organisation that also represents hundreds of former security officials, has offered a different assessment in recent days, emphasising what it describes as the achievements made during the 3 years of fighting. One of the key areas of disagreement concerns the situation in Judea and Samaria, including both the threat posed by Palestinian terrorism and the extent of the challenge posed by Jewish nationalist crime. Earlier this week, the CIS, which supports a two-state solution, appealed to US President Donald Trump to take decisive action against the escalating violence in the West Bank and Jewish settler terror activity that is poised to ignite the region. On Wednesday, the IDS Chairman General Brigadier Aries Winner penned a response letter slamming CIS for daring to compare local civilian friction to the horrors of Hamas. This is a moral bankruptcy. We clarify in the most unequivocal manner that we condemn all violence and any violation of the law from any side and demand firm police action in every individual case, he stressed. However, the Israel Defense and Security Forum noted that the analysis of the data proves that the narrative of settler violence is nothing more than a propaganda campaign for which a group blamed extreme left-wing organisations. These groups receive tens of millions of shekels from European countries and the useless nothings, or the UN as it's otherwise known, to create a false front for planned violence aimed at weakening the legitimacy of the Jewish presence in Judea and Samaria, with the goal of ultimately evacuating the Israeli residents and handing the territory over to the Palestinian Authority, just as they did in Gaza 21 years ago, according to the Israel Defense and Security Forum. The letter emphasised that an in-depth examination of United Nations data shows that the vast majority of reports of Israeli violence are inflated and distorted, which including thousands of cases of security checks, visits to the Temple Mount by Jews, or civilian hikes. Meanwhile, the real threat in Judea and Samaria remains Palestinian terrorism and Iran's expansion throughout Judea and Samaria, which threatens Israeli civilians on a daily basis, the letter concluded. Winner also criticised the CIS, accusing the group of promoting what he described as a peace through surrender approach and citing its previous support for the Iranian nuclear deal and Israel's 2005 withdrawal from Gaza. The exchange of letters highlights the broader political divide in Israeli society, with offering perspectives on security issues, often reflecting wide or ideological differences. While the Israel Defence and Security Forum does not formally identify with a political party, it is generally viewed as aligned with the right, a perception reinforced by Winner's recent appearance on the media outlets considered supportive of the current government. Winner offered qualified praise for the government's actions across several arenas in the war, which strongly contrast with comments by IDF Brigadier General retired Dor Shalom that from a strategic standpoint the war is a resounding failure. Speaking to Channel 7, he praised the government's initial moves during the war to stem terrorism in Judea and Samaria, saying that we did not turn a blind eye to any incident, not even a single stone being thrown. That aggressive policy significantly reduced the level of violence and friction. However, he said that security forces then took the foot off the gas at the same time. The Palestinian Authority's incitement campaign continued in the education system, the media, and public discourse. Combined with increased settlement activity, these developments have contributed to renewed attention on violence in the area in recent weeks. Winner argued, however, that such incidents have been occurring for a longer period, saying for many months there have been attempts to set farms on fire, poison livestock, and attack shepherds. The reality existed for quite some time. Winner concluded the real threat to the state of Israel is not only Gaza, Lebanon, or Iran, it is also the hundreds of thousands of weapons that have been smuggled into the area, the criminal organisations and the Palestinian Authority. If we don't deal with this in time, October 7th may turn out to have been only a preview of what could still happen. In another interview at Channel 14 Israel Security Conference this week, Winner directly refuted claims that those presented by Shalom, arguing that nobody could have imagined 18 months ago that today we would be in such a good security situation. He argued that in Gaza the situation is excellent, adding the work isn't done, but we have Hamas by the throat. Regarding Lebanon, he described the situation as good. He noted that residents of the north have returned home safely. Hezbollah has been beaten and is begging for a ceasefire and some kind of agreement that will save it from itself. We are in a good security position. In Syria, we are sitting on the crown of Mount Hermon and on the slopes of Mount Hermon protecting our Druze brothers. Regarding Iran, the retired general emphasised the Islamic Republic fired at everyone in recent weeks, but did not fire at Israel because we threaten them, because we are the actor that the people fear in this neighbourhood. Today, the state of Israel, under its new security doctrine, is no longer the nice guy. It is the one that knows how to restore order, strike in every capital in the Middle East, eliminate all the enemy leaders around us, and we are not finished. This is the true speak, and you can follow the Israeli Defence and Security Forum here on TikTok and YouTube. They're a great source of information and policy strategy. So look them up because they're a good site to follow. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.